All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here. Today is the Wednesday, May 24th meeting of the Little Rock Parks and Recreation Commission. Those of you online, just making sure for it, we do need to see your video. We do need to be able to hear from you here in just a few moments. I think right now, Commissioner Firstel, you're the only one online. Just to check, you can hear everything
Yes,
here?
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
perfect. All right. Let's start with, I would like to welcome, we have two new commissioners who are starting with us. One is with us today. Ron Barra is new, but he's not with us here today. But Mike Bernardo is. And so, Mike, why don't you, if you don't mind, first of all, welcome. Thanks for being a part of the commission. I appreciate your service. Tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe why you got involved.
Thank you. I'm Mike Bernardo. I'm retired military. I served active and reservist, and also retired IT. I have 4 children. Very familiar with the use of Parks and Rec. Coached recreational and competitive sports for them. Played adult sports like volleyball, etc. Active pickleball player. So play a lot out at Canis Park. Very familiar with that area. No particular reason for joining the commission other than thought I could contribute and hoping I can because I think it's such an important.
All right, very good. Well, we're glad to have you again. Thanks for being here, and we're looking forward to your service and partnering with you. All right, very good. Let's start with a roll call with our members, please. So, Brianna, is that something you can help us with? Or, yep, okay, very good. After you. Here. JT is here. JT, can you hear?
Yeah, here.
Okay. Here.
Here. Present.
All right, very good. Yes.
Does she need to include me?
Yes, please do. Thank you. All right, very good. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Good catch, by the way. All right, let's see. We do need to strike Brianna Dustin Smith from the roll. He's no longer active, so we can take him off. So we have a total of 9 commissioners, and right now we have 6 here. So we do have a quorum, so we are able to proceed with official business. Thank you very much. Everyone should have received via email prior to this meeting a copy of a number of things, including the April meeting minutes. Commissioners, were there any edits or changes that any of you saw needed to be made to the meeting minutes, please? If there are no amendments to the meeting minutes, may we please have a motion to approve the April meeting minutes?
Approve. Motion to approve.
Commissioner France offers a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I think I heard a second by Cannon. Commissioner Fletcher. Any further discussion on the meeting minutes? If not, all those in favor of approving say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting minutes pass. All right, we'll move on to the next segment of our meeting agenda, which is citizen communication. We do have a guest with us here today, Mr. Ryan Pruitt. So, Mr. Pruitt, we will yield the floor to you, sir. We'll put you on the clock for 3 minutes here.
First, I want to thank Brianna for setting me up. It would not have worked, and thank you for seeing me today. I'm on the Walton Heights Homeowners Association board.
Pull your mic down if you don't mind.
Blocking my face.
There you go.
All right, but I'm on the board at Walton Heights, and I'm here with a purpose to request your consideration to help design and perhaps even fund a neighborhood and community playground in our neighborhood located at the trailhead of the River Mountain Drive. which if I can share the screen, you'll see I've got it diagrammed out where our project would be between Connor Park and Two Rivers Park. Our HOA was funded over 50 years ago, and we boast over 500 homes, most of which probably pay taxes.
Let me interrupt you one
Yeah.
second. If you would double click on that image that you're wanting to show to us there.
Yeah. Okay, so that point is the trailhead of the River Mountain Trail and the mountain bikes. So it's a hub right now for our community, especially the mountain biking community. But our desire as a neighborhood would be to use Little Rock land to build a playground in conjunction with the Parks and Recreation Department. We would petition to use your property on the south side or north side of South Ridge Drive. These are a couple of options we've looked at. I've had the privilege to walk the site with Director Crouch and Director Cappy Peck as well. But if you've been to it, you know that it slopes significantly. So there's a great opportunity to build a beautiful terracing playground. And so the image I'm showing you is just a little input from me, but in talking with Director Crouch, we looked at maybe some ideas where you could have a cascading playground option with slides and swings and ropes, all ADA accessible would be our goal. Have ramps connecting down the terrace with a view towards the south. If we build on the south side of South Ridge, or on the north that looks down over the cascading mountain bike trail. So that'd be our request, is to approve the use of city property, either for Walton Heights to build ourselves, but that's the bronze version. The gold version would be partner with you to build it together with a match possibility. Thank you.
All right, very good. Any questions or comments for Mr. Pruitt, commissioners?
Walked it from Connor Park and got all the way there and stopped because we didn't want to keep walking down the road. But yeah, it's a pretty unique spot right there to have the intersection with the neighborhood.
Any comments, Director Crouch?
Yeah, sure. I would like to comment. Appreciate your presentation today. The graphics are great. I think visuals are always helpful. I do like the idea of partnering. We partner with a lot of different people to do a lot of different projects. So would like to hear more about that in the future. And I appreciate your presentation today.
All right, very good. Thanks again, Mr. Pruitt. We appreciate you being here and sharing that information with us. Let's see here. Brianna, is there a way to stop sharing that screen at the podium perhaps, or the lectern rather?
Is it city park land? Is it city land?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Pruitt's already taken care of that. Thank you so much. Very good.
Yeah, Ben, that's currently River Mountain Park, and there's a mountain bike trail facility in part of it. And then it goes across South Ridge, and there's parkland there that's not really so much dedicated to an actual park. It's in between River Mountain and Connor Park. And Connor Park is one of our bigger western parks of 10 acres. It's on Cantrell down there.
Is there a power line easement right there nearby?
Yes, the power.
I'm looking on
line,
my map right now. I'm just trying to get a bearings. Okay.
You're correct. Well, that was something,
Yeah.
and that's definitely something that has been somewhat addressed in terms of making sure that if you did do a playground there, that it does, meet suitable constraints of power lines. Obviously, we don't want to have energy fed, kind of challenges there, but those are the details. And I've heard that the neighborhood has been looking into that with energy to make sure that there's not any conflict.
That's a great spot for the neighborhood. I actually live really close to that and have talked and heard some of the ideas and thoughts about going behind that. And I know it'd be a really great way to connect the neighborhood to Connor Park as well, for what we're doing up there for the mountain biking on the north side, and the south side having some kind of park playground equipment. Would that affect any of the parking? There's like just a couple of spaces. And so would that affect the parking there, or would it be built behind that? Has that been a thought or a conversation yet?
Sure. Yeah, one of the benefits we saw was there was already on-site parking, which is nice. Most families would be able to walk there, but I think there's 6 spots already available, but the idea is to be down the hill with potential, the ADA would play in with ramps that are switchbacks, but also you'd be able to have a bridge go straight out from the parking lot to an upper raised playground that could tear us down from there.
Samuel, your concern is very valid, and a lot of our neighborhood parks don't have parking facilities. And that's one way, and we say, well, it's a neighborhood park. You should not have to drive to your neighborhood park. That's one concept. But before this grew legs anymore, it would be definitely needed to have a public meeting that the neighborhood would be invited to, and they could share their concerns. That's another way to handle some of that, just to make sure that the neighborhood and everybody that's involved in that adjacent area would, be on board and understand the project.
I don't want to say that was a concern, but it was just definitely like wanting to know more. I think it's a really interesting idea. And I know it's part of the neighborhood. We have a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and, Connor Park is really great to have so close, but I think just something for younger kids would be neat right there that wouldn't require extra parking. I know a lot of the parking there is used for mountain bikers and hikers. So, good spot.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. And like Director Couch was saying, just to be clear, additional public meetings would need to be held, additional conversations held with the Parks and Recreation. And then if there's something to come from it, then that would bring it back here to this commission. So,
Also, and no, Leland is aware of this. This is city-owned property, correct? If we're talking about the use or the disposition or potential leasing of city parks property, according to state statute, that would need to be bid out.
This would be no leasing, to my understanding. If this project made it to ground, it would actually be just a project for Little Rock Parks and Recreation to build an amenity for the neighborhood and for citizens of Little Rock. So,
Okay, thank you.
okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to staff reports. Director Couch.
sure, if we could just roll down through the staff reports, everybody knows who they are. And for Mike's sake, I'll just do a quick introduction. Our Deputy Director of Administration is Angela Nelson. She handles all of our admin. Our Deputy Director of Recreation is Shawanda Craig, sorry. Name change. So, and then Justin Dorsey is our Director of Operations, and under operation is maintenance as well. And just so everybody else, Mike Garrity is over emergency management for the city, not over it, but involved in it and works as part of that. Also is heavily involved in our marathon and our communications part for the parks. Anything I missed there, Mike? Not as of today. So anyway, if we could just start with administration, Angela.
Okay, the Parks Commission meeting, we did have a date change this time from May 10th to May 24th. So glad that you could make arrangements to be here for that change. So we're sorry for any inconvenience it may have caused. Also, as a department, we wrapped up Employee Appreciation Week. We were given the opportunity to select Employees of the Year. One of those candidates is here. One is Michael Garrity, who is our Marathon and Emergency Management Assistant. He has been with the city for 12 years, correct? Okay. And the other is Linda Beeler. She's not here. She works at Stevens Community Center, and she is a facility supervisor. So we had 2 candidates that we selected for those awards, 2 outstanding employees that I thought was very deserving of that award and recognition. Okay, with the department, we are continuing to work on our statement of value inventory. Of course, you know, because of the storm damage, we're still evaluating a lot of assets that we have, a lot of things that are missing and things that need to be accounted for. So we're still working on that. And in conjunction with that, we're also tying that into our division capital assets, which involves all assets. And we're just trying to stay on top of that so that we can get a head start and, you know, be completed with this by the end of the year. With our staffing, summer playground programs starts June 12th. We're still trying to reach our goals as far as getting people staffed for those positions. We're very close to reaching those goals. As a department, we have filled so far 8 positions. 5, I believe, was in maintenance. We had 1 that's in administration and 2 that's part of recreation. And I think probably by the end of the month, we will have possibly 2 more candidates or filling 2 more positions. So as a department, we're putting forth a good effort to get all our positions filled, and we hope to get everything filled. I'm targeting for possibly September to get everything filled. And this concludes resources.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Deputy Director Nelson? Okay. Next up.
Hello, everyone. Just to give you a note of what's going on at West Central currently, FEMA is still there. They'll be there up until June the 8th. So I will give you an update on that if it does extend longer than June the 8th. Our pools are open at the Jim Daly Fitness Center. And Southwest Pool will open this weekend on the 27th. So please take the kids out to get in the pools and enjoy. As Angela mentioned previously, the summer playground program will begin on June the 12th, and it'll go until July the 27th. They are still taking registrations. It's $100 per child. Jim Daly pools will start swimming lessons soon. So if you have anyone who would like to become a lifeguard, we are still seeking lifeguards. Please check in with the staff at Jim Daly and Southwest if you have anyone who is interested. They would have to go through a prerequisite course and then go through the Red Cross training to become a lifeguard. And once they're certified, then we can employ them as a lifeguard for the city of Little Rock. MacArthur Museum has a traveling exhibit, Military Women's Memorial in Arlington. They will be here Saturday, June the 17th through August the 26th. So if you have not gone over to MacArthur Museum, please go and check out the exhibits that they have there. Our therapeutic recreation division will have their summer camp at War Memorial Golf Course. And we're making changes there currently. Hopefully, once we get that completed, we can invite you guys to come out and take a look at our new space. I think that concludes our, sorry, I want to talk about the golf tournament. It was a success at Resumen. I know you guys will talk about it a little later on, but the staff enjoyed having you guys there playing golf on this past Friday. So thanks for that.
Very good. Any questions for Deputy Director Craig?
Hey, the summer playground program, how many kids are usually on average are there?
We have, each location has a certain number.
So it's at each community center?
It's at
Okay.
4.
4?
I can give you the numbers. Well, actually, it's at 3. East Little Rock will have 100. Stevens Community Center will have 120. Dunbar will have 210. We have 2 schools. Baseline Elementary will have 150, and Washington Elementary will have 150.
Wow. $100 for 2 months.
Yes.
Crazy.
7 weeks.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And they do have other activities and programs that they provide, but each, that costs too for the kids to go to
Yeah.
those individual items if they would like to go.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, next up.
For the maintenance and operations report, just hit a few of the highlights. Want to talk just a little bit about our urban forestry and kind of the aftermath and cleanup of the tornado, just for kind of an update and scope of the numbers. Just this past month, the urban forestry division has removed over 100 damaged trees. That's taking them down, root ball and everything. That's how many trees they physically have put their hands on. Not counting limbs or anything. That's actual total trees that one crew's been involved with. So they've been busy. They've done a lot of work, and of course now we have contractors in helping with that. But kind of just as a follow up or kind of exciting news to come, we'll have more news later. But we're working on developing plans to kind of better track and implement plans to plant more trees, I guess, in the kind of aftermath of this. And we're tracking how many trees we're taking out. And obviously there's a huge need. So we do have a couple grant opportunities. We're in the research phase and partnering phase with a couple different garden clubs to possibly get some grants for some new tree planting opportunities. So that'll be kind of exciting, and able to keep track of those numbers for future development and replanting efforts. Splash pads will be opening this Friday. Guys have all those painted, caulked, pressure washed, cleaned. So we'll be excited that all 4 of our splash pads will open. That'll be this Friday at 10 a.m. And so those are good to go, and we're excited to be able to gear those up. And those will be 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. So ready to have those. Some of the design and operations divisions, we had the Dunbar Gardens, the new sculpture there. The dedication was this past month. Really appreciate all the commissioners that were able to come out and be present. That really meant a lot, and I really appreciate everybody that was there to support. That meant a lot to staff, to see all the support, to come out and kind of ribbon cut that new statue. We're working on several new site plans, some new projects that are coming, Boyle, Kiwanis, and Pankey Parks. So those are 3 new big ones that will be coming in the future. So we're just getting ready to kick those off and get started on designs for those new ones or big ones. As Shawanda mentioned, we're wrapping up renovations to War Memorial Pro Shop. So hopefully when that space gets finished later on, we'd love to have you all out to see that new purpose space, and look forward to being able to program and rent and have a space that's there adjacent to the park and the green space and the playground splash pad that hopefully people can utilize. That'll be really nice. The guys completed several repairs at Jim Daly and Southwest, the outdoor pool facilities, gearing up for those to open. That was kind of a big kick. This past month, they were able to complete several of those. And then in addition to that, the guys have just done a really good job of being able to manage all those projects and then handle all the other ones. If you get a chance to drive by Boyle, just being able to adapt and overcome. You'll notice a new gate, big metal service entrance gate stuff. The guys were able just to completely in-house, completely fabricate, weld, doing paint, and it looks, brand new. But that was just to prevent. We were having a lot of illegal dumping issues there in Boyle at that location, and it was just a daily thing. So it was just something that they were able just to pull off between projects and handle. So I'm just adapting and overcome, but really proud of the guys and their work on being able to do that. So it's been a really good month in maintenance and operations. So
Very good. Many questions for Deputy Director Dorsey.
I had one on the War Memorial Pro Shop. Is that going to be a staff location now going forward, or what's the?
No,
It's just
sir.
like sort of like an event.
It'll be a
spot that you can
rentable
rent.
event space, and then I believe that
Okay. Okay. That's awesome.
Any other questions? Okay. Director Couch, anything else to add on staff reports?
No, thank you, staff, team members.
All right, old business. Let's quickly look at these very quickly. Tornado damages, obviously you heard Deputy Director Dorsey talking a little bit about that. Director Couch, is there anything else to add on tornado damages right now?
Obviously we're moving forward with the cleanup. Our contractor DRS has been working a lot at Reservoir. Almost have gotten majority of the down trees. And Murray is coming along too. Rock Creek is our next big focus out there. But I think I've covered it quite a bit in this meeting, but if anybody has any questions or any updates, I could answer that now in terms of tornado, but it's been a big effort on our part too.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I did notice, I pass Butler Park, which is, that's the one over there on Rodney Parham, right? There's some bends out there. It looks like maybe for some storm damage.
Yeah, so we haven't actually talked about that a lot, but Public Works did put some waste containers or large haul-offs over there for people to put. I don't know how long they plan on keeping that there. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Old business, second point, park highlights. We had some information on Hyman Park. We also last month talked about the golf tournament. We'll touch on that in a second, and the social event. I think we'll have some more news on that a little bit later on. Any questions about old business? We're going to cover off on the golf tournament here in just a second. Any other questions?
One thing real quick, and I brought it up last year, but it was paid. This year, the Little Rock Open, the tennis tournament, is free. So come out, and the guy who won it last year actually just won the Australian Open in doubles like a few months ago. The guy he beat is now Ben Shelton, is like 35 or 37 in the world. Several of the competitors are in top 100 now. I mean, it's sort of like a leaping. If people get hot now, they start getting into the Grand Slams towards the end of the year. So, but like I said, it's actually free this year. So, and there's new sponsors, so it'd be great to have good attendance. And then something I'd been bugging Chip about, and it wasn't because of me. I think you guys helped him put it together, but there's a sign on the front of the tennis center, and the estimation that they had, and I'm sure you helped them with it, Shawanda, is I think it's around $6 million is the community impact from all the events, not just this one, but all the tournaments and play and whatnot there at Rebsamen. So I just wanted to highlight that because Mike.
Thank you for bringing that up. I did skip over that in my report. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. It's just, it's
Yeah,
a good event.
I was actually going to cover that. So the Little Rock Open is from May 28th through June 4th. This is one of our bigger events for our department. Really excited that we have a new sponsor. So we have a 3-year commitment from UAMS. So really excited to move forward. And then that will, if that's good, chairperson, to move on to our new business, because that rolls right into that.
That's where we're going. So
Okay,
new business, right on that.
New
Go ahead.
businesses, I've been working since the last meeting on getting all of our bond and ARPA projects approved. And so one of those new bond projects is new lights at Resmond Tennis Center. So we'll have some new lights out there. Another project or several, I've covered most of these. So Mike, if you have any questions, please step in or stop me. But out of our ARPA funds, our senior center is one of them. And we had a meeting this morning, which was a kickoff meeting. So we've approved, the city board has approved vendors' professional services for design for the community centers and for the senior center, and for those projects that are excitingly getting ready to kick off and move forward. So senior was this morning, and that is in this facility. And an aspect of that is actually pickleball complex, which I think got overlooked a little bit. But we're excited that that's a new facility that will come online here in the near future, and we'll be tying this facility together with our Resmond Tennis Center. So I just briefly wanted to say, to cover our bond and ARPA projects, that they are now moving forward with professional design services, with the goal of finishing up a lot of those design services before the end of the year and encumbering funds, hopefully, and putting it out to bid early next year to have some improvements to our community centers. That's 4 of our community centers, and our senior center and our West Central Ball Field complex for our ARPA projects. So exciting to be able to talk about new, bigger projects and capital projects. So that's some of that new business. If there's any questions on that.
Questions?
For the senior, so right now this facility is closed for the board meetings and these meetings. That's a whole nother story. But the idea is that we'll be able to repurpose this facility slightly, but realistically add on to the southern end of this building. Concepts are looking at more space and therapeutic pool and different aspects of what that would be. And then there's a pickleball facility concept that would be, we've considered adding pickleball to Resmond tennis since many years ago. And so then when we start talking about seniors here, we said, wow, that might be a really big thing to put those two together. And so we're really trying to figure out a perfect fit for that. We don't have any drawings right now. And so it's at the very beginning stage. So any input would be greatly appreciated. So.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Next item, scorecard analysis.
Yeah.
That's you.
That's me. So I just wanted to start something new here. I believe that I did some marketing research with Little Rock CVB, and it was more for citywide type facilities. So I wanted to kind of do a little quick study here with the commissioners. And what that's going to be is I have these cards that, Brianna, can you help me pass these out? These are just some cards that I use for notes, but what I would like to do, and the people that are at home or at their office can email us, but what I'd like to do is, without going into detail in terms of what facilities you understand or know about Little Rock Parks or are familiar with. I know everybody here has their favorite thing and all of that, but what I would like to do is, instead of focusing Little Rock Parks right now, I think we talk about everything we have, we try to, and we have so many things that we don't really focus on one or two or three or four or five of those top big things. And so I would love to get the commission's input on what they think are the most important things and facilities and programs that we have. And so if you would just write on your card, which I call a scorecard, there's going to be 4 different categories. It's recreation. What I'm going to ask you to do is, under each of these, write two items. So under recreation, you could write soccer, or you could write tennis, or you could write golf, or whatever. So recreation, there'll be 2 items. Programs is the next one. There'll be 2 items. So it could be summer playground or something else, or maybe you don't know all the programs that Little Rock Parks has. The third one would be facilities. So again, some of these might duplicate themselves. It might be like Resmond Tennis Center, and your recreation might be tennis. Then we're going to really know that you're into tennis, or might be pickleball. But either way, and then last one will be kind of a wild card, which is other, and there'll just be one under that, and you can put anything that you want down there. The idea is that then I want to come back next meeting, and we'll do this again, and in between this meeting and next, use that opportunity to research some more about Little Rock Parks and Recreation. We'll take this meeting's information, which will be kind of the unknown, and see who's familiar with what. And then next month we'll have more defined, and we'll combine all that information and narrow it down. My goal is to narrow it down to, like, say, 5 top things for Little Rock Parks and Recreation that we really want to market and promote and push to the top of everything we talk about. Are there any questions?
Questions or comments about the scorecard? Great idea, Director Couch.
And if everybody from home, and if there's not somebody on the meeting today, if we'll try to reach out to them individually and get their information as well. So this is really informal. You don't worry about your spelling or anything like that. But just kind of wanted to throw something out there. So
Great idea.
appreciate your input.
Hopefully everybody will participate. So JT will maybe look to get your feedback via email at some point, and we'll reach out to the others as well, the other commissioners who are not here, and get their feedback too. All right, very good. Moving on to the next item, future dates and WebEx.
Yeah, just making sure everybody's gotten their information down. Everybody's good to move forward. Okay. So the reason that I wanted this to be a new business is that I had some personal conflicts this month with the meetings, and I apologize for moving the meeting date. And I think we lost a few people from that. I realize going forward, I'm really going to try every effort not to do that. And I've had that conversation with Matt Bowie here, and he doesn't know this, but we started looking down our calendar to make sure we didn't have any other conflicts. There is a conflict in October, Angela? And so I was like, oh, no big deal. We'll have somebody there. Well, I'm taking roughly 10 people, our top 10 people, to a national conference. And so it falls on the exact same day that we have this meeting. So I thought maybe if we asked early enough, we could get some, the commission to give us some input on what would be best to be suited for that meeting. And we obviously have more than 10 people in our department, so we could find somebody else that would be happy to hold this. But I just wanted to start that conversation. We don't have to make any decisions today, but and there are no other conflicts there on meeting dates. But I mean, that was one where it was like, wow, that's a challenging aspect. And that's everybody in this room would be going except for Mike. So Mike could hold the meeting, I guess. Anyway, so that's just out there. I wanted to put that out there for future discussion. And then also WebEx, just know that I just prefer to have these meetings in person. I know that WebEx is still something that's always going to be there. And if we can just still always have that conversation to, are we going to end WebEx at some point, or are we going to narrow it down and have more in-person meetings? And if anybody wanted to comment on that, I just wanted to put my opinion out there on, I strongly think that in-person meetings is better. And if there's if we need to still continue to have WebEx, or if we're good where we are today, but I wanted to have that conversation just briefly if the commission had any.
So let's hear from the commissioners about situations where we do need to consider changing a date. Any questions or thoughts about that? Obviously, we've pushed this one out a couple of weeks here, and obviously we've got a conflict that's coming up here. So commissioners, thoughts about how we might handle this in the future? You want to, I mean, would perhaps maybe, and I don't know if this would work, if y'all are going to be gone in October for a period of days right there, it may not be as simple as moving it to just another day that week, right?
Right. We're going to be actually, the majority of us will be gone for, I think, 4 days. And so
Okay.
I think there were some other commissioners that reached out to me that said, realistically, and I completely understand this,
Yeah.
that, we put this meeting on our calendar and it's set, and I know to schedule around that. I totally understand that. And so there is no goal. I mean, there's no plan to move any other meeting dates. And if I'm not able to be here or somebody else, we can fill in. Just October just ended up being when majority of the department's going to be out. And so we can definitely cover it. And there's going to be some time frame between here and there that we can talk about it more, but just put it on the table.
Be thinking about what alternative October meeting date might work for you guys. And we'll try to figure out what that might be in advance. Obviously, we'll have to communicate that out through the city's publicity department to make sure it's all on the up and up and whatnot. But just be thinking about what that date might look like. It doesn't sound like that the week of October that we currently have right now is going to be in place. So what might work for you guys? Let's maybe perhaps discuss that at the next meeting. Fair enough? Yep. Okay. All right.
Thinking
Very
of
good.
Costume party for Halloween. I mean, I don't know. That's when I think of October. So
Sounds good. Yeah.
just saying.
Anything else?
Second.
Couch on that?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, very good. Let's, looking at our time here, 47 after, we've got a few minutes left here. Subcommittee reports, any report from social media and outreach this month? No report? Okay, very good. Let's see, any report on master plan? I know our committee chair is not here today. No report there. And I know the committee liaison for Parks Conservancy is not here as well.
Matt, can you give us an update on Conservancy? Like how many people have signed up or roughly like just ballpark?
Yeah, sure. A quick update on that. We've got around 10 people who have signed up so far. So the effort is about to pick up. So in the last Conservancy meeting, we agreed that we're putting together a formal plan for announcing things and bringing it to light. So look for more information on that in the future from the Conservancy. So we're hoping to have some media announcements. We're hoping to announce very soon that the Conservancy is also going to be supporting some local projects with some funds that have been raised by the Conservancy. Looking also to have some events scheduled in the near future as well, so people can come out, learn a little bit more about the Conservancy. Obviously, the Conservancy's mission is to support Little Rock Parks and Recreation. It's the nonprofit partner, if you will, 501c3. So fundraising is the name of the game for the Parks Conservancy. And so getting more people engaged, hopefully will see an increase in not only members to the Friends program, but also into individual contributions as well. Yeah, of course. All right, agenda items for next meeting. Anything that we need to add to the agenda for next month's meeting?
Before we move to that, I'd like to cover just a couple of dates. So I covered the Little Rock Open. If you can make it out to that, that'd be great. You really want to go see that. I made it last year, and talking about some really neat tennis. It's neat to see.
You don't realize how hard they're hitting the ball too.
Right.
In person. And it's
It's
pretty dang impressive.
It's really impressive. The other big event that we have coming up is our mud run, which is at War Memorial on Markham. So if you see that we're digging a big hole, that is not a big hole. We're just making a temporary little mud pit, and we're going to improve it and put back some really nice grass and make it better there on Markham. That's on the 18th fairway there. But you can still sign up and come out and participate. It's a really fun event. And that's on June 3rd, right? Yeah. And so, and then the last event, which is not really a public event, but it'd be definitely something that if anybody here or anybody that you know wanted to join, is on June 5th. We are working with a lot of volunteers and some from the state and whatnot to go float the Fush Creek, and we'll be launching from Benny Craig Park at roughly, 10 a.m., I think. So we'll be there as early as maybe 8:30 or 9 in the morning. This is something that we're doing to take some different people down the creek to show them. Also, I'm introducing it to some of our newer staff. So if anybody had some interest to participate, it's a great time to come out. It's one of our official water trails in the city. It's a beautiful area. It is full of trash, but that's a whole nother story that I'm not going to get into right now. But it's a great opportunity to come out and float something different. So,
Our own canoe.
so there might be some extra rooms in existing facility stuff that we have. We're actually working with Norm Berner, who got all the canoes from Audubon, Arkansas. And so he was filling those up where I'm personally trying to maybe bring my own, staff's bringing some of their own canoes. So there might be somebody else that we know that might have some kayaks that might be able to help out. But if you wanted to do it, reach out and we can definitely get you, access to it. So
Anybody wants to go, but they don't have water access to a kayak or canoe, let me know. If that's your reason, I can make that work.
I just love to it was great to see the commissioners and the great turnout at the sculpture, and I really do appreciate that. So at any time, if you can make it to any of these other events, even as just a observer, it's always greatly appreciated. So thank you very much.
So since we're talking about agenda items for the next board meeting, I would like to add to the agenda next month. And I don't know, Angela, if this is you or Brianna, but if we could add a section for talking about upcoming events, I think that'd be good so that we have it there every month and we have a specific amount of time allocated for it. So let's add upcoming events to the meeting agenda next month. Any other agenda items that we need to add?
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
I don't know if this is appropriate for this portion or not, but do we talk about security? Because I know park security is a huge thing, right? Especially out of Canis, and really impacts the reputation and then the draw of the parks. Do we ever, I mean, I think that would be a great agenda item, but
Yeah.
just to, I don't know if we get reporting from the police where we would be able to see any kind of trends or anything like that, but thought I would throw that out there.
Well, let's put that on as an agenda item and maybe we can noodle what that might look like next month
So-
as a talking point, perhaps.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's exactly what I would like to see a conversation like that be. I appreciate you bringing up a great agenda item. And that gives us time to, I've already reached out several times, all the time to the Little Rock PD. But what I can do is ask if they can bring a representative and inform us what's going on. Right now, they're doing a lot of great things, but for them to hear from us and what our concerns are would even be better. And then to understand some of the things that they are doing or not doing and all the above. So yeah, that's great.
Let's
It's a great agenda item.
let's put security as a new business item for next month. Did you have another item?
The other
Right.
one was we mentioned pickleball twice, which is good. And so it is the fastest growing sport in America. So I was just going to throw out if at any point you guys wanted me to give just kind of a 5-10 minute overview of what pickleball is and how it's growing in the communities around us, I'd be glad to do that.
We might take you up on that. We have heard a lot about pickleball in the last 5 to 6 years. In fact, we've had numerous representatives from around the city come talk to us about it, but it might be good to have another update sometime soon. So thank you for bringing that up, and I'm glad to know that you're connected in with that. That's good. That's good. All right. Any other agenda items for next month? I think we've got a couple of good new agenda items right there.
Would like to keep the scorecard on there. We'll finish that up.
Yep, let's do that. Okay. Unfortunately, neither of our city directors were able to make it today. Obviously, other pressing business, understandable. So no board liaison feedback.
I do know that Director Peck, Cappy Peck, owner of Trios, who was impacted greatly by the tornado, just opened, I believe, like say Monday or something. So she said she wasn't going to be able to make it. So they definitely want to be here. They just often have some conflicts, but just wanted everybody to be aware of that.
So our next scheduled meeting is for Wednesday, June the 7th at 12 noon, as always, right here. Hope to see you all again next month. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time. Meeting adjourned.